Welcome back to They Reminisce Over You, a podcast that takes a nostalgic look back at the best in music, movies, and TV from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. I'm Miguel.
And I'm Christina. And today we're going to talk about someone who's been a favorite of mine for a long time. And not necessarily one of yours for a time.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later.
Today we're going to talk about Maxwell with a focus on the 30th anniversary of Urban Hang Suite.
Yeah, that's a long time. So are you ready to just get into this?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we're going to start this off with what I'm calling the first spin. So I want you to talk about what it was like the first time you listened to Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite.
Well, as we mentioned, this was 30 years ago.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if I remember exactly the first time. Because when I looked it up, Till the Cops Come Knocking was the first single, but
It was.
I remember Ascension first. So to me, that's my first memory. And I can't quite remember if I heard just the song or if I saw the video at the same time.
Okay.
I feel like I heard the song with the video at the same time because I remember loving the sound and I wouldn't say most importantly, but also importantly, the look.
Okay. Yeah, the first thing I saw was Till the Cops Come Knocking.
Mm-hmm.
It was getting played on the box all the time. So I would just hear it over and over again. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of dig this.
Mm-hmm.
There's something weird about it because in the video, he's crawling all over the floor.
Right.
And I saw a YouTube comment that said it looks like he's trying to find a lost contact lens. And he's just grinding around on the floor. Right. And that part of it is just weird. But the music itself, I was like, you know what? I kind of like this.
See, my first memory since it was Ascension was him shimming around in this little suit. And as much as I loved the like hip hop R&B, I was like, oh, I kind of like this little 70s feel. And
right.
He's like very lighthearted and very cute. And it was different from what I was listening to before.
Right.
And then you have Sumthin Sumthin as the next single. So between those three songs, that would have been enough to make it worth buying the whole album. Because I remember back in the day, we'd hear a couple singles and then we'd have to just go for it.
Yeah.
And buy the whole CD.
And hope for the best.
Yeah.
There was no sampling each song before you bought it.
Sometimes you could listen to the album in the record shop.
Yeah. But you had to go to the store to do that.
You just have to to just take a chance.
Exactly.
So like I was saying, the first three songs were pretty solid. But then you listen to the rest of the album and you're like, this whole thing is good.
Yeah.
So for you, what stood out first about Maxwell's sound?
Well, kind of like you said, because it was still early in what became the neo soul era. It didn't even have a name at that point. It was different because we were still coming out of New Jack Swing and this hip hop soul that was starting to take hold. But it was still a throwback to stuff that I did like from what my mom and stepfather used to listen to, like Marvin Gaye and Al Green and Curtis Mayfield. It was bedroom music, basically. But like I said, it was the video for Till the Cops Come Knocking, where you just on the floor like a crackhead. And that's what
yearning.
Yeah, that's
good
what
old-fashioned yearning.
People don't yearn no more.
I like that you use air quotes for this audio.
Well, you can see me.
Bedroom music.
You saw it, and now you've given them a visual.
I am.
So was it a specific line or a hook or a song that got you locked in?
I was like last year of high school when it came out. So seeing a cutie patootie who can sing and dance, I think I was hooked from that.
Yeah.
Like the Ascension's video, you start with, you see a silhouette dancing. So you kind of like, oh, what is this? You see the silhouette of that big hair.
Right.
He's dancing. Then the lights turn on and then poof, he's in this silver outfit with his ooh, wow, wow, wow. So it's like, oh, okay. What's going on here?
Right.
And so kind of like what I was saying before, like this was different from what I thought I loved so much, which I still do, the hip hop R&B, but we were so spoiled, which we didn't know at the time, at the sheer amount of variety just within a single genre.
Yes.
Or you could say two genres if you want to mix like hip hop and R&B together, since sometimes the sounds were mixed together, but like we had so much variety. And so this was just like something that was totally different, even different from the other artists that would become known as neo soul as well. He was different from them. And then, I was going into the last year of high school, which is a baby thinking of it now, but when you're like 17 or so, you think you're getting grown. And
Exactly.
so this music sounded like a little more mature too.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, okay. And it was like going into like after graduating high school. Cause remember back then, this was when you would have singles that would be released like over a year.
Yeah.
So he still had like another single. I think Whenever, Wherever, Whatever was released in 97 and the album came out in 96. So this was kind of like a perfect coming of age album where it's like
Right.
coming out of high school and becoming a quote unquote air quotes adult, and the music sounded a little more mature to kind of help that transition in a way.
Yeah, I get it. I'm a couple years older than you, so I'm already out of high school at
Yeah.
this point.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when you start to think, okay, I'm grown and sexy now. That was
Yes.
the thing to be in 1996
Mhm.
and 97 is grown and sexy even at 21.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, you're going to remember this. When we went out to clubs, we had to dress up.
Mm-hmm.
There was hard bottoms. Your shirts were tucked in. You had to wear
You'd have to
nice clothing.
You'd have to have an extra pair of shoes in your trunk just in case someone's like, no foams.
Exactly.
Or
So
no Tims, no
Yes.
foams.
so this was a time where grown and sexy was becoming a thing, even though I was nowhere near it. This is the kind of music that could make you kind of think that you were.
I mean, when you're that young, you think you are
Yeah,
grown.
exactly.
Well, even at my young age, the first thing that popped in my head, I was like, grown and sexy. And then I looked at the year and I was like, oh, I was still in high school when this first came out. But like I said, it went into post high school, and then he released another album like a year after. So
Right.
we had Maxwell for a while
Yes,
to help us with our grown and sexy phase.
exactly.
So if you had to describe that first spin, if you remember it from 30 years ago,
Okay.
to someone who wasn't there, what's one detail you would mention?
Even though Brown Sugar came out the year before, this is a completely different album
Mhm.
from Brown Sugar.
Mhm.
It's similar in the sense that it has old school themes around it,
Mhm.
but Brown Sugar was a little more hip hop leaning, where this is a little more jazz leaning,
Yes.
if that makes sense. Like it does have the soul influences,
Mhm.
but it's really jazzy too.
It's interesting you say that, because when I was writing or thinking about how I would describe this album, I'm like, that's exactly how I would describe D'Angelo, but they're two totally different artists.
Yeah, they are.
And I don't know if maybe it's just how D'Angelo looked kind of made you just feel like it was more hip hop, because you kind of just see the whole package as well. But
Yeah.
but his music did sound a little more quote unquote urban. It just had a slightly different feel,
Yeah, this
even though they're kind of the same and totally different at the same
Yeah.
time.
the difference to me at least, like I
Mhm.
said, the hip hop versus jazz look,
Mhm.
and not even look, but sound.
Mhm.
And Maxwell's stuff feels cleaner, if it makes sense. Like it's perfect. Like everything is
Yeah,
where it's supposed to be.
Very smooth
Yeah.
and glossy.
Whereas like Brown Sugar, like I said, is kind of hip hop is where things are not where they're supposed to be.
And I
Like,
think also he kind of sings in a way that it could also be a rap. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Let me
yeah,
tell you about this girl. That
right.
sounds like it could be a rap.
Yeah, it could.
Hmm.
And like I said, the production is a little grittier.
Yeah.
It's not as glossy and pretty.
Hmm.
And it's slightly off with the drums, and things don't hit a certain way. Whereas the Urban Hang Suite album is very plush and
is.
glossy and pretty.
Hence grown and sexy.
Yeah, exactly.
When you feeling fancy and I'm going to get dressed up
Yeah.
and have a night out on the town.
Yeah, and you throw on Brown Sugar when you just go into the lounge down the street
Picking up your girl from
from her job.
from her job at
Where was she?
it?
CVS?
CVS, something like that.
Yeah.
That's Brown Sugar.
Exactly.
And you gotta elbow the men to let them know she's yours.
Right. So is there a song on the album that you used to skip and that you've grown into, or is this a no skip album for you?
It's been a no skip from day one.
I figured.
Yeah, the only thing, I wouldn't say it's an issue or anything, but the only thing that kind of always throws me off is Sweet Lady, which I think is near the end, or maybe
Yeah.
is he sings a little bit different on that one. He doesn't use the same falsetto. So when I listen to that, it's always like, oh, I kind of like forget that he has different ranges.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it, I skip it or it like ruins the album or anything, but it does kind of throw me off just a little bit.
Okay.
But other than that, it's No skip
Yeah, I
from
figured as
day one.
much. I knew the answer before I even asked the question,
Yeah.
but you know,
Even like the intro, which is just a whole instrumental, it makes sense. It's like a really good introduction into the rest of the album.
yeah.
What about you?
Um, there are a few that I skip. Like I don't have a consistent. I'm gonna run it from front to back. There's a couple of them where I'm like, I don't really want to hear this right now.
So, is there a track that feels very like 90s specific then? And which one do you think could drop today and still make sense?
Well, something something sounds like 1996.
Hmm.
If you were to say, play me a neo soul record from 30 years ago, most people would probably drop something something.
Right.
It is, like I said, very 1996. But something that could drop today, probably Ascension, because it's similar to
Mhm.
something something, but there's something a little bit different about it, at least for me. And I can see somebody like Duran Bernard doing Ascension
Right.
today.
I'm gonna have to compare the two because to me they're kind of like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, they're very similar, but I can see Ascension working today in a way that something something can't.
Mhm. Little something something
Little
as he likes to
something
say
something.
sometimes. Sometimes he says something something.
He
Sometimes
does.
he says something something. That's when you know it's real.
Exactly. He was feeling it then.
I think because he had this sort of 70s inspiration to me because he had already pulled from something old that it made it timeless
Yeah.
in the sense that like trends are coming back around that I kind of feel like something could work or really this album period.
I'm not saying that it can't work,
You just
but
feel that feels very 90,
yeah,
1996 to you.
it every time I hear it, I
Yeah.
think about the 90s. That's all.
Yeah, I think it's just because of my own memories too. It's kind of hard to divorce the thought sometimes because I know when it came out.
Right. So while we're here, why don't you give us 3 songs that really lured you in? I know you mentioned a couple of them already.
Yeah.
And why did you choose these songs?
Okay, so I do want to mention the first track, which is the urban theme. That's the instrumental track, which I think is very bold to open with a 2 minute and 42-second instrumental. We're not going to sing nothing.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's just like that makes you feel like the music is very important.
Yes.
Because it's not like a, 30-second interlude. It's basically the length of a song.
Yeah.
So that one I wanted to highlight. I kind of just squish something something and don't ever wonder together because like to me they're very similar. I think I'll just always associate this album with those two songs.
Okay.
And then for my last pick, it's a classic thing they used to do back in the day. The hidden track.
Oh, yeah.
The sweet theme. However, if you're streaming it, at least on Apple, I'm not sure about other platforms, they split it into 2 songs. So
Yeah.
you don't actually get the experience of the hidden track.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like it's 2 songs. But since it's a hidden track, there's no name for it. It was just, I think it was just listed as Till the Cops Come Knocking. And it's like, that's not what that song is.
Yeah. Because I looked at it and was like, why is Till the Cops
Yeah.
Come Knocking down at the bottom here? And then I played it and was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
got
see what you
really
did.
confused by that. And I was like, that's a hidden track. Thank you very much. So, and a side note that I wanted to point out is most of the songs on this album are close to or more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's like unheard of in like today's short attention span.
Oh, you're definitely not getting a 6-minute
Yeah,
song
this
today.
album is 64 minutes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the track listing right now. Until the Cops Come Knocking is 6 minutes and 56 seconds.
But to me, they don't feel that long.
No, they don't.
I didn't realize it until I looked at it. I'm like, these are some long ass songs.
They are.
So that's my key tracks from this
Okay.
album.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing with the intro, with the urban theme.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of combined that and Welcome as just one because it kind of sets the tone for the album. Like you said, they gave us 2.5 minutes of instrumental.
Yeah.
And then Welcome hits. So now you know what you're in for. Another one is Till the Cops Come Knocking because it's the first one that I heard. And I really like that one. And then I'm going with Lonely's the Only Company because I knew you wouldn't pick it.
Well, I actually quite like that song.
I figured you would, but I didn't think you would pick it for this.
Yeah, it's just like I'm trying to think of what stands out or like what is a key feature. And though I really like that song, it wasn't one of the first singles or whatever. I've already
Right.
explained why I chose my choices.
You did.
I chose my choice.
You chose your choice. All right, so let's move on from that. We're going to come back to Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite a little bit later, but now we're going to get into the other albums that he put out. And the first one we're going to start with is something that really surprised me, and I meant to look this up to see if anybody has gotten an MTV Unplugged off of the debut album.
So no one else has? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
You were going to
I
look
meant to look it up, but
but
I didn't. I forgot.
Okay.
So what were your favorite moments from this album?
At the time, I think probably just seeing that he's just as good at performing live. Like his voice sounds the same, his charisma is the same. So it was just like, I don't know, nice to see him performing. I remember he pulled like a girl up from the audience and danced with her and just doing little silly things and stuff. It's like, oh, he's so cute. But now, in more recent years, my favorite moment is actually Closer.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before on the pod, but I didn't know at the time that it was a Nine Inch Nails cover.
Yeah.
And now I know the original song too. And honestly, I don't think I paid enough attention to the lyrics to be like, excuse me, I want to desecrate you. I think I just kind of like, whatever. And I didn't even, honestly, because it's the last song on the album and the performance, and I didn't really even pay much attention to it because I was like, I don't even know what this song is.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until you heard me just playing it one time and you're like, is that 9 Inch Nails? But
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, because I hadn't heard the album. I went straight from this to Embrya, so I hadn't heard it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you would play it, that's when I would be hearing it.
Right.
And just that one time, I actually heard the Desecrate You. And I figured, okay, he's just taking a couple lines from that song and incorporated it into one of his songs. But then as it keeps going, I'm like, I know this song. And then when he got to the I Want to Love You Like an Animal, I'm like, this is 9 Inch Nails.
This is a cover.
Yes.
This isn't just borrowing a couple lines.
Yeah, this is Closer. And then they start saying it in the chorus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is
get
wild. Yeah. Like you got this blues version of a 9 Inch Nails song.
And I was actually I tried to find the MTV like video or
I did.
Yeah, but I've only found one link, and so at least I'm assuming that's how it was aired originally. They end the performance before he takes us to church.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to the album version, he does the kind of jazzy version for a little bit, but at the end, that's when the tambourines and whatnot come in and the clapping and the stomping, and all of a sudden we're in church now. But they cut that off in the live or the aired performance.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's like the best part.
Yeah, the differences I noticed from the streamed version or the aired version on TV and the album. For example, with Closer at the beginning, one of the background singers, he's going back and forth with him. It's not on the album version. You only hear Maxwell's vocals. So I'm sure the entire album has been edited that way as well. Because he was actually talking to the security at the beginning of the song saying something like
5 more minutes?
No. He said that I know security's been telling y'all to sit down because of the cameras, but I don't care. Stand up. And then he gets on the couch and so the cameras can see him.
And they don't leave that part in. They must have, I'm guessing they must have recorded it twice, because even I was trying to watch the streamed version or aired version to see how they could have neatly cut it off before the second part of the song started, the churchy part. But I don't know if it's clever editing or if they just recorded it twice. But
yeah, I'm going to say it's just some good editing.
Yeah.
Where they clip things out and put other things back in. Yeah, these songs on this album, well, at least from the first album, for me, play better in a live situation because they're different arrangements and gives it a different feel. You got the crowd interaction, like the, what is it, Mellow, where they keep pump faking the crowd and they don't know whether to clap or not because they'll stop and then start up again and then stop and start up again. And finally, by the 4th time, like 3 people clap and then they finally end the song. So that I liked about it.
I guess because the way the songs are crafted to begin with, like they're kind of almost made to play well live.
Yeah.
And in a way, you can play with the arrangements because it's already using real instruments.
Right. You can go somewhere that you didn't on the album.
So after the Unplugged, he released Embrya in 1998, so not too long after. And I don't remember this at the time, but the reviews were pretty harsh.
Yeah.
I guess I just didn't pay attention to it because I really don't remember.
Same.
This. But honestly, I read some of them and I don't really get why they didn't like it. So what did you think of it then? And I guess your view probably hasn't really changed then if you were saying, oh, wait, you just said you didn't read the reviews at the time.
Yeah.
So has your view changed?
No, it hasn't. And I understand what the critics and probably some fans were saying because it is similar to Urban Hang Suite, but the differences are just enough that I can see why people aren't on board with it because the production is a little more moody. Like the singles, those are easier to get into, but the album cuts are not made for like casual fans.
I guess I must have been too big of a fan because I was just like, gestation is a little weird, I guess.
Yeah.
But like people made it seem like remember when Common dropped Electric Circus?
Right.
And it was like, oh, what's this?
It's not Electric Circus crazy, but I have a comp for it that makes complete sense, at least to me. It's kind of like ATLiens. The first album was just something big and great. And then they turn around and give you something completely different from Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music on ATLiens.
Yeah.
I think this is similar to that.
I guess.
Where the differences in production are just enough that it kind of throws people off.
Would you call it pretentious, which seemed to be a common theme, at least in the reviews I read?
I personally wouldn't because I'm somebody that liked the direction the OutKast went on ATLiens. So I see this album is similar to that because even if you listen to the 2 albums, they sound like versions of each other. Like ATLiens is the hip hop version of Embrya and vice versa. But that's just the way I feel about it.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. Like even I tried listening to them back to back. I'm like, to me, I don't see it as a huge departure.
Yeah, it's mostly with the production, at least in my opinion. Because like I said, it's a little more moody than the first album.
See. And I could see it being a little more experimental in sort of like this little underwater theme.
Right. So you got like all these random sounds in it. Yeah. And like I said, it's very similar to ATLiens in that sense.
But yeah, I can't agree with the critics personally.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we could just chalk it up to people's narrowed views of what R&B should sound like.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Like I said, that people were not expecting this. They thought they were getting Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite Part 2. And when they didn't, they were like, get out of here.
You pretentious weirdo.
Yeah. Well, why are you weird? I want to hear something now. 3 times the something.
3 times the something. Yeah. Something.
Yes.
That's hard to say 3 times in a row, actually.
But the follow-up to that now was his most popular album up to that point. What were some of your favorite songs on this one?
Get to Know Ya. Okay. And as you know, the word trousers is just a funny word to me. So him talking about others try to get in your trousers.
I have that written down too.
Gets me every time. But to me, I'm like, but that's also like he seems like a little like goofy, like just like of course Maxwell would say, get in your trousers. Yes. Right? And you never let them get past pajamas. Like, that just seems like something he would say because even though the majority of his songs are about relationships or sometimes they're even like sexual, he never like gets what's the word, like nasty?
Vulgar.
Vulgar, yeah. Yes. So of course he would say they try to get in your trousers.
Yeah. I was chuckling listening to that yesterday.
Yeah, so I like that little, mid-tempo song, and I think the classic Lifetime. And I just wanted to point out, because I really loved As My Girl on the Best Man soundtrack. On here, there's like a W/As My Girl, which is a completely different song.
Yeah.
So don't get that mixed up. And I also like No One. It's like a funky little ditty. What about you?
Yeah, same songs. I'm gonna save something
Okay.
about this album in particular for later. So hold on for that.
Okay. Okay. I will
I don't want to
hold
spoil it
on.
just yet.
All right. So I guess we'll skip to the next two albums, which
Yes.
are part of a trilogy, even though it's taking a very long time for him to complete this trilogy.
Yeah, he said it's coming soon for the third one. We'll see.
So Black Summer's Night, with the black in capitals, was released in 2009. And then Black Summer's Night, with summer capitalized, was released in 2016. And as you said, he said that the third is coming soon. So which of the two do you prefer, or do you think they're equal?
I like Black more than Summers.
Same.
I like both of them, but I like Black more than Summers. And those two albums are completely different from the first three albums.
Yes.
Like there's some elements of the early albums on there,
Mhm.
but it's completely different. And that's what I like about it.
Mhm.
I'm a really big fan of both of those, but that's kind of what I'm into.
Mhm.
Just like I prefer, what's the D'Angelo's last album?
The Vanguard. Oh no, what was it called again though? It was D'Angelo and the Vanguard. But
Yeah,
what was it called?
Black Messiah.
Yes.
That's why I like Black Messiah
Mhm.
over Brown Sugar.
Mm,
And it's kind of the similar situation with Black Summer's Night, both of them,
yeah.
versus the early stuff. But I'm a weirdo like that.
Oh, you're just so refined
No, it's not.
and evolved.
It's not being pretentious or
You're pretentious
or elevated. Y'all just don't know.
You just don't know.
You peasants don't know. No, I just like those a little bit more
You're a
than the
music
others.
man.
Hey, I also like Funkadelic
Yeah.
over Parliament. So it tracks.
For me, the D'Angelo's Black Messiah, it did take some time to grow on me because I think I was unwilling to part with early D'Angelo. I don't know if maybe I'm doing the same thing with Maxwell, but I do prefer the black over summer, but these two are not my favorites. Like there's some songs that I like, but I prefer the first three.
I figured as much. I knew where that was going to go.
But for me, I clearly like the first of the trilogy better.
Yeah.
Because I kind of ran them back to back twice just to kind of compare. I'd heard Fistful of Tears, like kind of in title only. And I was definitely sleeping on that one though, because when I was re-listening, I was like, you know what? I like this song. I have a confession to make.
Okay, confess.
Is this a safe space?
It is. Nobody's listening but me.
I have come to realize I do not like Pretty Wings.
Oh.
Yeah. First, I was like, it's not my favorite. And then when I was listening to it, I was like, you know what? I don't think I would ever put this on purpose.
Oh, man.
I know.
Yeah, they're coming with pitchforks and torches after
Yeah,
you.
because it's definitely a fan favorite.
It is.
But I don't know. It just doesn't work for me.
I have no opinion on it either way. It's cool. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just kind of there.
He's got enough of a catalog that I can listen to something else.
You can go ahead and skip that one on the playlist.
Yeah. I mean, you could put it on our playlist, but it ain't going on my playlist.
All right. That's a good spot for us to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. This is They Reminisce Over You. I'm Miguel.
And I'm Christina. We wanted to take a minute to make a small request of all our listeners. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or Podchaser, leave us a 5-star rating. You can also leave a review as well on Apple, Good Pods, and Podchaser. Ratings and reviews will help us with discoverability, and we want to get this out to as many like-minded folks as we can.
We want to get on the first page of these podcast apps.
And to move up on the charts as well. So help us get the word out.
Make sure to follow and interact with us on social media. Also, check out our website, troypodcast.com. It's where we post links to a lot of the things that we mentioned in the show, as well as transcripts and themed playlists that supplement our episodes and more.
Thank you again for your support.
Okay, we are back, and now we're going to do a segment called Head versus Heart. This is where we're going to discuss the songs in the catalog that everybody loves and whether we agree with it. And we're also going to talk about our personal favorite deep cuts so we can give a little more shine to the songs that may not get discussed as often. So we're going to start with the big hits. What is your Maxwell big hit and how do you feel about it? And does it still hold up?
So for me to decide which were his big hits, I decided to check out the Billboard charts.
Okay.
Just because it gives us a measure of at least what was commercially popular. So on the Billboard Hot 100, he had 7 songs. Fortunate was the top, followed by Lifetime, Pretty Wings, Ascension, This Woman's Work, Bad Habits, and Fistful of Tears. And the second chart I generally look at is the hot R&B and hip hop songs. So there's some overlap. I won't read the whole list because he's got 15 songs in it.
Of course.
But
we know what they are.
Yes. And of course, there's more songs on the hot R&B hip hop list. But we got Pretty Wings at number 1 for 14 weeks. And then Fortunate, Bad Habits, Lifetime, Ascension, This Woman's Work. So there's some overlap.
Yeah.
So the 2 that I want to point out in terms of his hits. One I mentioned already, Pretty Wings, which I already said, don't come for me, but I just don't like this song.
Hey, that's fair. There was a time where I stopped listening to Maxwell completely. And you know that.
Yes.
I was just listening while we were like painting the living room or something and decided I don't really like this just out of nowhere. And I'm not talking about this happening 3 years into his career. I'm talking about this happening in like 2012. 2013.
Yes. And I remember just being like, excuse me, what?
It doesn't make any sense.
I was
but
like, I have
it
to
happened.
rethink our relationship. Like, how can you just drop this on me now?
Because it was something that I just realized. I was living a lie for 15 years at that point or whatever it was, 20 years. I don't know. I can't math right now. But yeah, I realized that I really didn't like Maxwell.
Yes.
Or at least I thought I didn't like Maxwell. And just like I said earlier, we'll get back to that later.
Okay.
This is a 3-part story.
All right.
So
a story in 3 parts.
Yes, the conclusion, the thrilling conclusion will come up later.
Okay.
Carry on.
Even though I don't particularly like this song, I do think it holds up because in his Tiny Desk concert, he was like, for my millennials, I know you'll know this song. So if he included it in his Tiny Desk, since you only have, a limited amount of time, obviously it's a fan favorite. The other one I wanted to point out, I'm sort of like just putting myself out here with these choices because I'm picking stuff that are big hits, but stuff that I don't like. So the second one, which is also a huge hit for him, is This Woman's Work.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like it per se. It's just not something I want to listen to. And I generally don't have issues with covers. First, I thought, I was like, oh, maybe because it's a cover, it doesn't feel Maxwell-esque or whatever. But I don't really think that's the reason. I think it's especially now that I know what that song is about and where it originated from. I forgot the name of the movie, but basically it's like either we abort the child or my wife dies.
Yeah.
And that's what the song is about. And I'm like, I don't want to hear this.
Yeah. So y'all got to stop using This Woman's Work for your weddings because the song is not what y'all seem to think it is. Just because he's singing about give me your pretty hand.
Right.
I should be crying, but I just can't let it show.
Yeah.
It's not about him holding his emotions together at the altar. It's a song about either the wife or the baby dying.
Yes. And I do listen to not happy songs, but I think this might be, I feel like this one is a little too personal and nothing that I have maybe if it was something I had personally experienced, it'd be something that like helped me get through it. But since I haven't, I don't want to personally experience it and I don't want to listen to it.
See, that's not even my beef. My beef is to not have this at your weddings and receptions. It doesn't belong there. The problem is, and it came to me just a couple days ago when I was listening to the Unplugged album, it's between the lady suite and whenever, wherever, whatever. It's sandwiched in between those two.
Like the way it sounds makes sense.
Yeah. So you see those 2 songs with this one in the middle and you hear the let me take your pretty little hand.
Right.
It seems
and then
like,
you go into whenever, wherever, whatever.
Right. This seems like a song that should be played on the happiest day.
Right.
But it's not.
It is not. It's played on the worst day.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So just knowing, again, what the song is about and what it was used for, I'm just like, nah, it's not for me. And I
It
just,
makes sense.
yeah, just sonically as well. I like other stuff from him better, but these are huge hits. So,
Yeah.
hey, if you like it, I ain't gonna say nothing about it. I don't fault people for liking it. It's just not for me.
I don't fault people for liking it either.
Just
I
not
just
at
don't
weddings.
want you playing it at weddings and receptions anymore. Stop it.
Right.
Stop it.
What about you?
Yeah, the big hits for me are all from the first album, Ascension, Sumthin Sumthin.
Hmm.
So all of that are the huge ones, especially even though you said that those weren't higher on the charts, they're higher in the hearts.
Oh, but bump.
I just came up with that one right
Yes.
off the dome.
Oh, see, we should publish video, and people need to see how proud you look right now.
Hey, it's a fine moment for me.
Yeah, I mean, we know that the charts don't always reflect what quote unquote real people like.
Yeah,
But it's one unit of measurement.
exactly.
The other unit of measurement is what? Cookouts, weddings,
Yes.
birthday parties.
Exactly, all of those. So let's get into the deep cuts now, or
Deep
the
cut.
less popular and the album cuts. So which ones do you like?
Actually, I completely forgot about this. There is, I guess you can call it a remix or maybe a B-side. It's on the I'm sure this is one of those things I probably just illegally downloaded back in the day.
Okay.
So it's on the Till the Cops Come Knocking single, and it's called Lock You Up in Love for Days. So it's I say it's kind of a remix because it takes some lines from Till the Cops Come Knocking, but you might like it because it thumps. There's a bit of a bass line. It's kind of mid-tempo.
I don't remember it. The
Lock
only
you up
remix,
in love for days.
the only remix I really remember is the one that Jermaine Dupri did.
Yeah.
And I stumbled across that when we were researching things for
Yeah.
the Jermaine Dupri episode.
Yeah, I think you would like this one. It's like still smooth, but like I said, there's a little up tempo and there's a nice little bass line that you would appreciate. But yeah, I when I was just listening to stuff, I had heard it before, but it's been a long time. And I was like, oh yeah, I need to bring this back into the rotation.
Yeah, I don't think I know that one.
Well, I suggest you check it out because I
Okay.
think you'll like it.
All right.
The second one is, so this one, I think that it should have been more popular. Maybe it was more popular outside of the charts, in the hearts, as you like to say,
Yes.
as you just said. Matrimony, Maybe You, only got to 79 on the hip hop and R&B chart.
Really?
Yeah, and then it didn't even crack the Hot 100.
See?
That's like,
People weren't fucking with the Embrya album.
yeah, so I'm like, I think that's my, not I think, I'm pretty sure actually, now I'm thinking about it. That's my favorite Maxwell song.
Okay.
And I was just like, that's it? 79 on the
Hey.
hip hop and R&B chart? Okay, if it didn't crack the Hot 100, we know that's like, the all genre list. But I'm like, I guess people really weren't listening to Embrya. And that was a single too.
It
So
was.
it's not like you had to like look for it, and it had like a really cute music video to go with it. So I don't know. I say justice for Matrimony. I think this should have been more popular.
I have no answers for that.
But I cannot confirm outside of what I see in the charts
Okay.
how popular it might be. Maybe there are people who are thinking the same thing. I don't know. Let us know.
Yes. Hit us up and let us know.
What about you? What are your deep cuts?
The only one I can really like say confidently and would want to put out publicly is Silently, because yes. I know he gets a lot of flack for trying to be Prince and Marvin Gaye,
Mhm.
but this song feels a lot like Prince's Joy in Repetition,
Mhm.
and I love that song. And this is what it reminds me of. Also, it reminds me of Elevators by OutKast too. Not the lyrics or anything, but because of the production, it's really sparse and not a lot happening. But those two songs is what Silently reminds me of. And I love the two of those. And this is the standout on that album for me. So that's what I'm going with.
Okay. So then if you had to pick just one to play right now, the big hit or the deep cut?
Oh, I'm
Which
going
would
with the
you
deep
choose?
cut.
Yeah.
I want the streets to come over to my side. Come over here and get underneath this umbrella with me.
Come to death row.
Yeah, come to death row. Because like I mentioned, I was off of him for a while.
Uh-huh.
And then I started listening to it again a couple years ago when we were doing another episode.
Uh-huh.
And then just reconnecting with that,
Mhm.
I realized what all of this is for me when it comes to Maxwell. So this is the thrilling conclusion
Okay, the thrilling
of
conclusion.
me liking, hating, and then liking again. So the singles and the songs that I'm supposed to like, there's more air quotes,
Yes, more air quotes. Supposed to like.
are actually lower on my list
Mm.
than the album cuts, the deep cuts. Those are the ones that I really get into
Right.
versus what people think of when they think Maxwell.
I see
So
what you're
I'm
saying.
back on the Maxwell train now that I've realized
Now that you've decided which songs you want to hear.
Yeah. So I am not a Maxwell hater
All right.
like I was for a 10-year period.
Okay, so I can put those divorce papers away.
Yes. Yes, you can. I'm back on board, baby.
Yay. Well, I think it's obvious for me since the two big hits that I chose were songs that I don't like.
Yeah. So you're
obviously
going
I'll
with the
pick
deep
the deep
cuts.
cut. I'm going to take it a step further.
Okay.
You've said, and people have said, that people weren't fucking with Embrya, but I'll take Embrya over now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's a
There
bold
are
statement.
some songs that I really like on now, but overall, well, first of all, Matrimony is on Embrya. So
Yeah.
there's that. But yeah, I'd take it over now.
All right,
Yeah.
then. Interesting.
I'm not going to throw away now, but I'm just saying if I had to choose between the two, I'll take Embrya.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel similar,
Mhm.
but now and Embrya are really close to me,
Mm-hmm.
but I choose now over Embrya.
Okay.
But that's just me.
All right.
So that's a good spot for us to take another break, and we'll be right back. Hi, kids. Do you like fun?
Yeah.
We're starting a monthly newsletter called Liner Note. We'll be sharing what we're watching, what we're listening to, throwback YouTube videos, updates on our upcoming projects, random shit you may have missed on the internet, stuff like that. The link is in the show notes, or you can go to troypodcast.com/newsletter. Do it.
Now,
It's good for you.
it'll make your teeth whiter.
And back to the show. Okay, we are back. We're going to finish this up with a segment called Then and Now. So Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite was everything then, but does it still top your Maxwell list now?
My notes simply say yes.
I figured as much.
I don't really think I have to say any more than that.
I didn't think that you would change it in
No.
any way.
I feel the same way as I did then. I'm just older now.
Yeah.
That's about it. Now we qualify as grown and sexy.
Yes.
That's about the only difference.
Well, it's not on the top of my list. I have it at number 2.
Okay.
Now is at the top of the list with Embrya and Urban Hang Suite kind of 1A or 2B,
Depending on your mood.
2A, 2B, depending on my mood.
Yeah.
Because it's not the grown and sexy stuff. Like we've said a few times with your satin shirt unbuttoned to the navel. It's a little more closer to what I enjoy.
Right.
Like my favorite song on Embrya is Submerge.
Okay.
So if that gives you an idea of where my head is at when it comes to this,
Yeah.
Urban Hang Suite has fallen down for me.
Okay.
Sometimes it's second, sometimes it's third.
I will say for me, Urban Hang Suite and Embrya are close as well, but they're closer to the top, which is pretty much what I said. But I'd choose it over now. But I think, I guess the nostalgia of like your introduction,
Yeah.
right? So it's just like, is it a better album? I don't know, but was my first introduction to him, and it was a
Right.
really good debut album. So it's hard to not think about. I mean, if I'm thinking about Maxwell, I'm going to think about Urban Hang Suite.
Yeah.
First. Yeah.
People's heads go to Ascension and something, something.
Yeah.
Whereas you say Maxwell to me and I'm going with Silently and Symptom Unknown. Not to be a contrarian. That's just what I'm into.
Mm-hmm. Pretentious.
No, I'm not being pretentious.
So then you should love Embrya.
I should, but I like it. I don't love it.
All right.
So if you compare that first spin to the way you feel about it now, other than age, or maybe that's the only thing that has changed, what has changed the most for you?
I don't really feel like it's changed much. I think because for me, also the album doesn't sound so dated too. I think
Yeah.
maybe that's why I don't feel like much has changed.
Okay.
Because like say something like listening to Usher's first album. Now as an adult, it's like, oh, I don't want to hear a little kid singing this kind of stuff,
Right.
right? But because Maxwell's album, it sounded mature-ish then already anyway. So
Yeah.
listening it to now as a fully grown old adult, like I don't really feel like, oh, this makes me feel young or this makes me feel old. Like
Yeah.
it's just hasn't really changed.
Okay.
And you know what's funny with the songs that I picked? So I completely forgot about this, but when I had decided to do a YouTube channel for my code stuff, I was like, oh, I have an existing YouTube channel. I'll just use that. And then I was like, where the hell did I get 500 subscribers from? And I had completely forgot that I made like this random Maxwell mix back in 2010. And I can't remember when I started the YouTube channel. Maybe it was like 2018 or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, so somewhere between 2010 and 2018, I just amassed like 500 subscribers.
And didn't even know it.
Yeah, mostly based on this mix. I had another mix, but it was the Maxwell one that was all the people were listening to. And what were the songs on there? First song in the mix, Matrimony.
Of course.
Second song, Luxury Cocoa Cure. Third, Ascensions. And last, Sumthin Sumthin. So if I made that mix in 2010, those albums came out late 90s, early 2000s. I'm picking the same songs over decades. So if that's a sign that nothing has really changed, there you go.
I'm going to say it hasn't changed much for me in the same way that you said. It's an album that's actually timeless, even though I say that a lot of the songs sound very 1996 when you listen to them. They still can work today.
Yeah.
They don't sound so bad that you can't listen to it or it's unlistenable. So I don't think it's changed much other than me changing and realizing the songs that I'm supposed to like aren't the songs that I actually like when it comes to this album.
That makes sense. Because a lot of times you're like, oh, this is a popular song and this is the kind of music I like.
I'm 21, 22, 23. Yeah. I'm supposed to be wearing hard bottoms and my shirt tucked in at the club and wearing some Paco Rabanne. And these are the songs I'm supposed to like.
Sounds that'll help you get the ladies.
Exactly. But not realizing I should have been listening to the album cuts instead of the singles. But I've learned.
Or at least trying those out before you decide you don't like them.
Right. Exactly. So if someone listening to this episode has never really sat with Maxwell, where should they start?
I think they should start at the beginning with Urban Hang Suite. I don't necessarily always think that you should start at the beginning if are exploring a particular artist. Kind of like back to what I was saying about Usher. So if I was making a recommendation for someone who's never listened to Usher, I wouldn't pick his first album because it doesn't really feel like a good representation of him.
Right.
I would pick like 8701 or My Way or even Confessions. But for Maxwell, his debut album not only feels representative of him, but he was a big part in creating this new sound that just came out at the time. And so if you've never heard of Maxwell, it just makes sense to start there.
So what songs, like 2 or 3 songs off this album, would you suggest that people check out?
So I suggest Sumthin Sumthin, even though you're like, you like the album cuts better, you personally, but you got to hear the hits.
Right.
And then whenever, wherever, whatever, just to give something a little different, like slow song versus Sumthin Sumthin. And then Dance With Me as like a little more, up tempo, kind of like a sampling of what the album is about.
Okay, I can kind of agree with that. And most people would agree with you because you do need to start at the beginning to kind of understand the journey. But I'm going to choose Now over Urban Hang Suite, only because I think it's a little more accessible and you don't want to throw people into the deep end right away. At least I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'll give them a little appetizer to work their way in, and then you can go back and see where it started and then work your way through.
All right.
Because I definitely don't want to start you with either the Black Summer Nights albums.
Yeah, I think you have to start with what he started out as before you put them onto that.
And songs I would choose, Changed, Was My Girl. And the other one is Symptom Unknown, because the intro to that kind of reminds me of Hotel California.
Okay.
So those are the 3 that I would have people check out.
Okay. So if someone only has time for one song from your starter pack, which one would you choose?
I'm going to go with Was My Girl for the reason that I just said.
Yeah.
It's off of an album that's a little more easy to digest.
Mhm.
And I just like this version better than the one on the Best Man soundtrack.
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
What about you?
I'm going to cheat.
Okay.
And since I can only pick one song, I'm going outside of Urban Hang Suite and I'm going to pick Matrimony because it's my favorite song.
Of course. Of course. I guess I'll allow it. So Matrimony, it is nothing. I can't do anything. Can't do anything.
Nope.
So is there anything else you want to say about Urban Hang Suite or Maxwell before we wrap this all up?
I would say, at least for me, I find that re-listening to even some of like my favorite albums that I listened to forever so many times, but really listening to it using headphones has made a difference.
Yes. Or just with better technology.
Yeah.
Because I have never heard the sirens until the cops come knocking until this week.
When you said there were sirens, I was like, what sirens? But when you played it, I was like, oh no, I remember hearing that before.
I heard it for the first time this week.
But yeah, you just kind of like, I feel like when I listen in my headphones and listen intentionally, it's just little, maybe they're just background vocals or ad libs or something, but it's always something kind of new-ish kind of pops up.
Okay.
So that's my suggestion in general.
And my suggestion is one that I've already given. Stop using this woman's work for your weddings. That's it. That's all I ask. Stop using that song for what should be the happiest day of your life.
Yeah, he's got other songs. One that I've mentioned several times.
Yes, use
that
Matrimony.
Directly relates to getting married.
Exactly. Exactly. So what I think we should do, because we have two different types of Maxwell fandom here, I think we should make two playlists for this episode. It's going to be like Christina's version, Miguel's version,
all right,
and possibly Taylor's version.
Not Taylor's version.
Okay,
I don't even know what Taylor will put on there.
Christina and Miguel's version. So for this episode, there's going to be two playlists, and you can check that out on our website, troypodcast.com. And if you made it this far and you like what you've heard, send this episode to two of your friends. They'll thank you for it.
Maybe three.
All right, send it to three. Why not? I was being mellow, but go ahead, send it to three people.
A cousin, something.
Yeah. Also, check out our website. Like I said, that's where the playlist is going to be. We may add some other notes from this episode, and you can check out other episodes as well. So go check out the back catalog of They Reminisce Over You at troypodcast.com. If you want to buy some merch, head over to tthang.com. Get hats, mugs, hoodies, all that good stuff. It's not just Troy-related things. It's a bunch of pop culture things there. So tthang.com, TEETHANG.com. You can also sign up for our monthly newsletter at troypodcast.com/newsletter. It's free. There's a bunch of good stuff in it. It's very entertaining. And if you don't like it, we'll give your money back.
Yeah, okay.
So go ahead and check that out.
Keeping that free.
It's called Liner Notes.
No refunds.
No refunds. We talk about things we're listening to, things we're watching, things we're reading, and a bunch of funny GIFs and videos. Go ahead and check that out. And that's it. We'll be back in a couple weeks with another new episode. So make sure to come back and check us out. Bye.